and invite our market master, Manish Sonthalia of Motilal Oswal Asset Management, is with us now. Manish, good morning. Thanks a lot for joining us. Your thoughts on this big momentum move which is continuing? You reckon this broad-based move can continue for some time?
See, I'm clearly of the opinion that 2019 is going to be an emerging market trade. Obviously, India is not going to be left behind. We are seeing the amount of FPI flows that have come in the month of March. We have seen a fair bit of correction in the broader markets in India. And obviously, there is no negative surprise to be seen, at least as far as domestic news flows are concerned, till 23rd of May. So a combination of all these things would mean that the party goes on till at least the 23rd of May. If there is no negative surprise on that front also, the party should continue even after that. For the simple reason that the broader markets have seen a much deeper correction than what was warranted. There's ample capital flows that would be coming to emerging markets. India will get its own share. And the mid-cap space on an FY20 basis, mid-cap and the small-cap space, on an FY20 basis, the EPS growth is going to be north of 70–80% if you were to compare it on a YOY basis. I mean, these combination of factors would warrant me to believe that we are up for good times.
Okay. Manish, we're going to come back to you on this issue and more. Please stay on with us for a minute. We have to analyze this PNB housing deal that has just happened, the sale of PNB housing shares from PNB to General Atlantic and other Vardeh partners. Mr. S.P. Tulsian joins us. Good morning again, sir. How would you look at the valuation at this price?
See, Lata, if you see the historical talks which has been going on maybe for quite some time, then obviously you will be greatly disappointed to see this kind of realization by PNB in PNB Housing Finance. If we take the deal happening at about maybe 850 rupees, but this is seen to be a positive deal, and only thing, you know, this reminds me of the greed sometimes happening on the part of the PSUs, or maybe the delay. You know, it reminds me of 2007. BSNL had a EV of 1 lakh crore and today it is in negative. So anyway, leave aside those things. But yes, if you ask me, the consideration seemed to be quite low, what they have been expecting, but this is seen to be an excellent move. Because the only thing that people earlier were expecting that probably Carlyle will increase their stake to 65–66%. That would have been seen more what you call positive and bullish for the stock. But having come in, these two other partners, General Atlantic as a portfolio investor, is also seen a positive move. But this will really be quite positive for the PNB going forward. That yes, now they will be able to ramp up their operations, the capital will increase, and that's the reason probably the government is also seen to be very keen. And I think it is what I've gathered, that SEBI has also granted permission to the government to increase their holding beyond 75% in PNB, which now they have about 70–71%. So yes, it is good that deal has happened, and but the price is seen to be inadequate.
Sir, the fact that, you know, some of these big players like General Atlantic and Vardeh partners have entered into PNB housing, will that have a rub-off sentiment impact, positive impact on any of the other housing finance companies? And would you be bullish on any of them?
See, Sonia, it is like Blackstone entering into the real estate market. It is exactly in the same way that all these coming, the General Atlantic or maybe Vardeh partners, if they are coming into the housing finance, in fact, that has a tremendous growth potential going forward over maybe next 4 or 5 years, if you really see. And in fact, across the board housing finance sector, and that is what in fact I have been saying when the things were seen to be quite negative for the NBFCs and housing finance company 2–3 months back. And this will not only evoke interest in the PSU. In fact, I don't see any reason to be extra bullish on maybe LIC housing or GIC housing or Canfin Home, because the stake sale is not going to happen in those companies. There won't be any change of the partners. But overall, in fact, if you really take a call on all these housing finance companies, in fact, maybe PNB is looking expensive ruling even now. PNB Housing Finance even maybe ruling now, but on a relative basis, on all these other housing finance companies, maybe like India Bull Housing, Canfin Home, LIC, GIC Housing, they are really ruling at a very cheap level, maybe at a price to earning multiples in a single digit, or maybe price to book of less than 2. So yes, the investment interest will revive in the housing finance sector, and all the stocks in this sector will stand to gain.
Okay. As we were speaking, sir, BNP Paribas has also sold 5% stake in SBI Life. So I think they were holding 23%. and now that will fall to whatever 18%. BNP Paribas exiting a bit of their stake in SBI Life. Thank you, Mr. Tulsian, for joining in and giving us your take on PNB Housing. Most useful. Okay, let's just go back to the markets. The mid-caps have had a strong rally this morning. The first 15 minutes have absolutely gone to the mid-caps with a 0.8% gain, and that's giving a healthy advanced declines of nearly 3 stocks in the green for 1 in the red. Manish Sonthalia has been speaking with us about the rally, and he sees it as a clean run with just a little bit of a pause around May 23rd. Manish, I wanted to come to your favourites, which, you know, Motilal Oswal almost discovered for the market, the auto stocks. What do you do with Eicher now? Is it adequately punished for the slowdown, and now it's, you know, a time where you can start an SIP in Eicher, or is there still time to do that?
So autos as a space has a lot to do with liquidity conditions available. Globally, auto stocks are not doing well. For the simple reason that Fed has been shrinking the balance sheet. Now they have commented that they are not going to shrink the balance sheet post the third quarter, which is October onwards. Yeah. In India, we have very tight liquidity conditions in the third quarter and the fourth quarter. So I think it's nothing specific to Eicher. It is to do with the entire auto space. Autos is a very large sector. It will revive back. It is a matter of a few quarters. If we are talking about Java as a competitor, they are only going to sell 5,000 bikes a month, which is 60,000 bikes a year. Of course, Eicher is today a zero growth stock as far as FY19 is concerned. They are not going to see any growth this year. But they have grown at 40-50% over the last few years. There will come a point in time when a few stocks, even if they have a long growth ahead, will go through some period of stagnation or zero growth. And there would be some price correction, and the stock has also corrected. But that does not give away the fact that motorcycles as a space and the 350cc to 600cc category is still relevant, and Royal Enfield will find its place out there. I mean, that's a belief that I have. And today, if on an FY21 basis, it's exhibiting zero growth in terms of valuations, I'm good holding this stock.
What about stock like HPCL, Manish? It's been a big rally after that disappointment which led to the derating of the entire pack. It was a stock of the last series and continues to move up despite being out of the index now.
It doesn't matter whether the stock is in the index or outside the index. There was a point in time just a few months back when the stock was languishing at 150 and you had the whole street shouting that the stock is overvalued. I think the stock even at today's prices has deep value. Even today's multiples, they are not exorbitant on a price to book basis, going by what historical price to book multiples or price to earning multiples have been. And there is full decontrol as long as oil prices, crude oil prices remain below 85. That's been exhibited in the past as well. And I have no reason to believe that that's going to be overturned into a control scenario till at about, let's say, $85 a barrel. So we have that in our portfolio and we're still buying it.
Right. Manish, hi, good morning. I wanted your thoughts on how to approach technology stocks. You do have a couple of names like Tech Mahindra in your portfolio. We are getting contradicting, views. On one hand, there's talk of a slowdown in the BFSI vertical in Europe, etc. On the other hand, Accenture this morning says that, the financial services muted growth is very company specific. How do you deal with this situation?
So there is some slowdown in the BFSI space, that's my belief, and this is after we have spoken to a few companies. But other spaces are doing quite well, particularly the high tech, the retail, and some bit of it even in the healthcare spaces. You've got to pick your spaces in the IT vertical, whichever verticals companies are more, dominant, or let's say in the case of Tech Mahindra, if telecom is the dominant vertical for them, I mean, there is no risk on that front. So I think it's the short-term gyrations have much to do with currency movements. But my belief is that obviously India is going to see a depreciating currency slowly and gradually. And we are building in very conservative assumptions. We think multiples are fairly reasonable. And if there's one island of defensiveness in this sort of markets, it's going to be the technology in the pharma space. We have some allocations parked in both the names.
Okay. You are buying Mindtree at the current point in time?
We have LTI.
Okay. All right. Manish, pleasure speaking with you as always. Thank you very much for joining us and giving us the benefit of your advice on a bunch of stocks.